Hello, I'm Neil Quigley and welcome to my short weekly comedy podcast. A bad week for Theresa May, once again, but a good week for people who would like to keep on hearing about Brexit until we all die. The government reacts to long A&E waiting times by simply removing the 4-hour targets to be seen, which means performances instantly improve as though we're hitting the new no targets. Genius. There have been so many votes taking place in the Houses of Parliament this week, it has been like semi-final week on Britain's Got Talent. MPs vote to delay Brexit. The country voted for it and yet they cannot deliver, much like the winner of last year's X Factor. Well, after 2 years of saying it, it turns out Brexit does not mean Brexit, but Brexit means Brex-ish. Vince Cable has announced he will quit as the Liberal Democrats leader in May. He has 12 MPs to lead. My mate has a bigger team to manage at his son's under-8s football. Labour say the Conservative Party are in chaos, and that seems a fair observation, but its value is lessened by the fact that they're in chaos too. This is one chaos theory that just doesn't add up. This week there was a service to mark the 70th anniversary of the Commonwealth, attended by some of the least common and yet most well-off people in the country. 10,000 sheep were stolen across Great Britain in the last year. It has taken the person on that case 6 months to get to that final figure as they just kept falling asleep. Strong winds once again caused havoc across the United Kingdom and curry is still our favourite takeaway. You do the maths. Storm Gareth hit the UK this week, which just sounds like an ironic nickname for the quietest and most boring child in class. Stephen Hawking's former nurse has been struck off for her misconduct for a short spell in her past career while looking after him, or to put it another way, for a brief history of her time. A jaguar in an American zoo attacked a visitor who climbed over a safety fence to get a selfie with the animal. The big cat rightly realised that no one looks good in them, so tried to stop the picture being taken. A professor has been removed by the CERN Research Centre for comments made about male and female scientists, which caused a much bigger reaction than the Large Hadron Collider there. Superdry, what the clothing company's Christmas do will be like unless their sales improve. Debenhams will consider a loan for Mike Ashley to help the company. They just need to decide on a date and a pub to hold the meeting in. It was Crufts last weekend and Best In Breed once again goes to Norfolk. Crufts, a competition where the competitor with the best teeth, shiniest coat and the nicest tail wins, a bit like RuPaul's Drag Race. A dog named Dylan won Best in Show at Crufts this year. It just came out, did its thing and barely even acknowledged the audience were there, which is a great gag if you've ever seen a Bob Dylan gig. It turns out that mushrooms are good for the memory, unless they are magic ones. Esther Rantzen has said in a radio interview that she doesn't think that she would be pretty enough to get on television now. Well, that's life. Jennifer Lopez has got engaged to former baseball player Alex Rodriguez. They were already living together, so they have the home base already covered. An auction of George Michael's paintings has revealed his love of visual arts. I did hear he was partial to a constable. Ed Sheeran has supposedly angered his neighbours in Suffolk as they claim his new pond could be used as a swimming pool. Surely any pond could be used as a swimming pool, and any swimming pool could technically be used as a pond. A school is shunning comic relief red noses as they're made out of single-use plastic. I've not bought one, I think, since 1997. I admire their principles, but I do think it would be much funnier if fish got caught up in them rather than a plastic bag. I saw a headline for comic relief this week and I just thought Louis C.K. was back on tour again. A US Army official who has said humans will always make the final decision on whether armed robots can shoot or not has clearly never seen RoboCop. An 116-year-old woman in Japan has received the Guinness World Record for being the oldest living person. That is the ultimate poison chalice, as it also surely means you are the person in the whole world most likely to die next. And finally, some good news this week as Danny Dyer and Prince Charles met and the world didn't implode. That's it for this week and indeed for this series. Thanks for listening. Have fun. Speak to you soon. Cheers.